Good morning. My name's Kyle. I'm the Pentographer, and I'd like to thank you for once again joining me. So today, I wanted to talk about something I feel like I've noticed this. Now, I don't know if it's 100% true, but it appears to be true to me based on my experience. Again, I could be wrong, but this is what I've observed anyways. So, I think that men and women journal differently. That's the basic thought. I don't think men use this tool as much as maybe they should. The only people I've ever met in my life who actually do journal, the majority of them are women. Now, I've met a few guys who write, fair enough, and I'm sure many in this community would also write as well, and probably even journal. Now again, I'm totally open to being wrong on this, but I feel like journaling for men is very important. We live in a world where men's problems really, nobody cares. Like, just quite plainly, most people don't care about men's problems. Most people are much more likely to get up in arms about the problems of women, you know. That's just the way it seems to be. And not a lot of people have a lot of compassion for men. Most people villainize them even. Maybe I shouldn't say most, but many villainize them. A lot of women villainize men. And so in a world where few people even care about us, I think it's a good idea to be journaling. I think that's a really good idea for guys. Because the women who don't villainize men, the people who do not villainize men, I often hear them saying things like, "Oh, I want an emotionally available man," or "I want, or I want him to open up to me," or something like that. Often not the case, not actually true, but I feel like journaling is a good way of bridging that gap, actually, because if you're expected to be emotionally available, but you don't want to open up because you know it's not the right tactic, you know it's not smart to do that, then I feel like journaling is a great way of helping with that, because you can get your thoughts and your feelings out on paper and really process those things sort of ahead of time, right? Not in the moment. Keep it under wraps in the moment. Talk about it later in your journal. And then I feel like that's a better tactic in most scenarios than just opening up and spilling your guts and all that stuff. Now, I mean, there's people like me out there who, I'm fairly verbal, so I talk my problems through. Even if I'm not, I'm not complaining about them. I'm not complaining about my issues. I'm not complaining about my problems. I'm talking them through. Sometimes there's people like that in the world as well. Maybe journaling can be a compendium to that. Maybe you can use that for another purpose. But I just think that not enough men are actually using it. I think it's seen as a very feminine thing to do. Women keep a diary kind of thing. But I really think that journaling is a good tool for men as well, to help them process through things, help them deal with issues that they might be dealing with. I've used it when I've been going through things, and I can't really parse things. I should be doing it more. Even now, with my current situation, it would be a great idea to just write it out and write out my thoughts about these things. Because then you can go back to it as well later and reflect on it, and you can kind of put together a bit of a history with it later on, down the line, that you wouldn't have been able to do had you not written it down. Like, I've got a good chunk of my life in my head swimming around at any point in time, but journaling, writing it down, it allows you to take it out of there and put it over here on the page, and then you don't have to walk around with it in your head the rest of your life. You can put it down. I think that's useful. I think it can be a really useful tool for men to process the world, and in the face of a world that cares very little for them, I think that would be great for more men to be utilizing. And that's really the gist of it. I could be all wet on that. I could be completely wrong, and there could be tons of guys out there who journal and look and read and write and all that stuff to help deal with their issues. But I don't know. I haven't observed it very much in guys. It seems to be a mostly female phenomenon, as far as I can see. So I don't know. I wanted to muse on that for a little bit and kind of talk it out, because I know I should be journaling more, and I think people should just generally be journaling more. But I think men have a unique. It has a unique utility to men that it might not otherwise have to women. At the very least, I think it shows up different. So those are my thoughts for now. I'm going to cut it there, but subscribe to the channel. That would be great. I'd love for this community to grow and get bigger, and for more people to enjoy the musings of a crazy guy talking about fountain pens in his car. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day, and as always, may your pen always be